course, but definitely right there live in person. We want to talk not only about her journey and her relationship with chilies, etc., but also just, what it is and what it means to be, the queen of such an industry and somebody who's inspired to continue this journey and share it with other people. Joining us from Namibia today, her name is Frieda. Frieda, good morning, my sister. How are you?
I'm fine. Good morning, everybody. How are you?
We are all good. We are all good. Humbled to be in the presence of the chili queen herself.
Thank
Uh,
you.
um, I have to ask, like, why chilies? What's your relationship with this awesome pepper that you just felt like you need to express yourself through, different variations of it?
Well, I've always loved chili. I've always loved chili since I was young. I remember being 9 or 8, and my dad never allowed me to eat it.
Oh wow.
But growing up and getting into my own, I started eating it and experiencing it on my own, and that's where it started.
Nah. So
Yes.
what kind of chilies are most prominent where you harvest them the most? And are those, do you use more indigenous chilies? Do you play around with chilies that are from all over the place? What's the story? And I mean, what's your process as well when you are thinking about what to do next when it comes to these, sauces and things that you make?
So the kind of chilies that we have here, I use all sorts of chilies. I import seeds, whatever, the whole shebang. I use anything, any chili, but above 300 Scoville heat units. You can't give me a jalapeno and think it's because I really bring the fire, I bring the heat. So
Sure.
yeah, so I use everything, man. Everything with the new recipes and our future, whatever. I always have to do research, test the timing, test the how long it can last, and then I can bring something onto the market. I don't just bring something onto the market. There's like there's an entire process involved.
Okay. Now
Yeah.
let's go back a little bit. When did you discover that this is something that you wanted to actually formalize? I mean, you obviously fell in love with chilies and the heat and the flavors and all of that, but for you to decide to make products and make a business out of this, how did that begin and what was the thought process behind that?
So I really didn't discover this on my own. When a friend of mine told me to start bottling and I thought he was crazy. I was like, you're mad. But what happened was I'm a chef as well. So I cook a lot and I host a lot of people. And I used to side these sauces with the food that I was making. And a friend of mine the one day was like, why don't you bottle it? I'm like, you're mad, you're crazy. But later on, it started playing in my head. And then I was like, okay, fine. Let me make 50 bottles and sell them from the back of my boot. And they sold out within, I think it was the first 2 hours. So that's where I was like, whoa, people actually love this stuff.
Wow.
Um, yeah, let me go into it. Yes.
That's great, man. And I mean, the response that you've received from when you started, obviously, there was amazing turnover time. Like you say, a couple of
Mhm.
hours, those bottles were gone. What then happened after that? What was your next thing? Was that your wake up call? Like, okay,
Yeah,
so
it
that
was my
happened.
wake up call, but it still took some time because I first started going to markets. And that's how I got my name out there, then got a logo, then got branding, then got bottles, then got all of this. But where I realized that there's really a market for this was when people actually started inquiring and be like, can I get 10 bottles? Then I'm like, are you crazy? Like of chili? You get what I'm saying? Yeah. So that's when I was like,
Wow.
oh, there's actually a market for this. And yeah, that's where I started.
So, what are some of the learning curves you've learned, not only about business, but about Chile itself in the process? Because I'm sure there's behavior of the pepper itself more than just how the market behaves to it.
First of all, one thing I've learned is that suppliers are not reliable
Ooh.
when it comes to chilies. The second thing is that they are flippin' hot. Okay. So supplies are not reliable, and therefore I had to get land and start growing my own. But even my own supply is not enough for the demand. So then I have to rely on other people, and then orders may be late, things like that.
Yeah. So I mean,
And we're trying
there's
to
a
fix all the loopholes. Whenever you go through something, you actually learn, oh, this, we can do it like this so that it can be better for the next consumer. You get what I'm saying? So,
But
yeah.
that's great. Couple of
Mm.
comments here. We've got Liz Ross, who says, "Hi Frida, hi. So proud of you, friend. All the way from Namibia, land of the brave."
She learns,
Uh,
she's a sweetheart.
and Tembelani Kiete is saying, wow. And he's got this big emoji and chilies all over the screen. So, now what inspires some of your recipes then? Or do you think of meals? Do you think of meals first and then say this would pair good, this would pair well with this, and this? Or do you make the sauces and say this will work with anything? Do you have any of
Listen,
those where you're like, this is my universal go-to stuff, you know?
no, I honestly, one thing about me, I love experimenting when it comes to the kitchen. I'm very, very good at that. So even, there's a new source of mine coming out, blue cheese, blue chili bomb. It's called the blue chili bomb. That's made with blue cheese and chilies. And
Okay.
I couldn't believe I came up with something like that just through an experiment. You get what I'm saying? And I don't really make dishes and then think about how no, I don't do that. I come up with my own recipes, test them, trial stages, whatever, and then that's when I'm like, okay, fine, this one is good for the market, let's get it tested.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's exciting though because you're also taking risks and playing around with things that excite you. Firstly, because I
Yes.
mean, if your heart doesn't skip a beat when you discover something, how do you expect to get the market to jump for it as well? You
Exactly.
know.
Hmm.
Now, some of your better experiences. What kind of recognition is the Chili Queen receiving for? I mean, I've seen that you're getting into bigger department stores. You're getting into mom and pop stores. It's all around the place. You've got a big following. What kind of recognition is the entity, the business itself getting, and how far has this source taken you?
Honestly, I'll start from last year. I got recognition from Future Females Business School where they enrolled me in a business and entrepreneurship course. Mind you, my pitch came number one. So
Wow.
I was the top student and my pitch came number one. So I started gaining momentum from there. And then now I'm doing the export and trade through the UK government. That's also another certificate that I'm working towards. I'm about to graduate in the next 3 weeks. And then we also won a very, very, very big national competition last week, Monday. We won the Agra Grow competition. And this competition has been brought by Agra to
Okay.
help SMEs and all of this stuff get onto the market. And listen, this price is actually tailor made. They cater to your needs as a business. So I mean,
Wow.
the name has really gone far, the brand has really gone far. We really, really appreciate all our supporters, clients. We really, really appreciate that. Chili Queen sauces have really opened countless doors for me as Frida Vatileni as well. So
And
it's really amazing.
And I mean, you know, one of the reasons we reached out, we saw this this announcement that had happened through Agra, but also the fact that we are celebrating Women's Month, and wanted to reach
Yes.
even beyond the borders, just to kind of throw some love out there to our continent of people who are also doing amazing things in the areas that they stay in, as maybe
Yeah.
some inspiration, and also just to shed light on the fact that we are all pushing a parallel fight here to try to break through and make what we love spread around the world, basically. What do you and how do you advise young women who are looking for their way and want to maybe use what they are able to do to achieve that?
Young women, honestly, I'm a young woman myself. So I'll just give advice based on myself. I the first thing that I'll always go to is don't rely on a man. Honestly, honestly, that's my number one everything. We as women are so great. We are capable of so much, and we don't need a man to do it. You see, like with our country, we've got very high stats when it comes to GBV and all of this
Okay.
stuff. And I feel most of these things come by when men kind of supply women's needs and then they later regret it or whatever. There's a lot of issues of GBV going on here. It's also like really primitive. And that's the first thing I'll say. Don't rely on a man. The second thing is believe in yourself. Guys, we are amazing. There's so much we can do as women to conquer this world, to conquer this business world. We can do so much, if not better than men. I'm not saying you guys are bad people, but
But yeah, I mean,
yeah, yeah,
in this context, and also you are motivating for independence more than anything, which is very
yeah,
important
yeah,
as we unpack the conversation further. So,
yeah.
what, Frida? What's next for the Chili Queen as a brand? And what's next for Frida as the Chili Queen, the face of the brand as well?
Well, Frida is just waiting for graduation. I'm very excited about this. A couple of weeks away. And then next for the Chili Queen brand, we are now getting stocked in countless stores. I mean, so many have reached out to us. So that's really what we want to focus on right now. And we also want to focus on going beyond our borders. So we will be getting our export license soon, and then we'll be exporting. But our chili is already in Kenya and it's already in Geneva, Switzerland.
Wow. Wow. So
Yes,
and that's worlds apart, but two great
yes,
places to have your
yes,
products
yes.
being sold. So
Mm.
as your business grows and as you grow as a business person, what are some of the exciting things that you have experienced that have shown you that you're on the right path as a business person as well, but also in your personal growth because you followed a passion of yours and you're still excited about doing more with what you're doing currently.
I think recognition for me is very important, and it also makes me realize how hard I'm working to satisfy. It's not just about chili queen. Honestly, it's just not about the chili sauces. I'm very independent and I believe so much in the power of a woman. So the majority of my workforce are women,
Yeah.
particularly from GBV backgrounds, because I'm a GBV victim myself.
Okay.
And it's very close to my heart. I mean, to assist
Yes.
other women to extend knowledge and also learning is a very big thing for me. I spend half my time on the computer reading or looking up something. I love that. Mm.
And put us in the picture where within Namibia and and outside of Namibian borders, where you see yourself in the next 5 years, as far as number one, and in the industry as well as a businesswoman. Again, because these are goals that we'd like to hear and reach out when we see them happen and say, "See, we told you, and we were there at the beginning of it."
Yeah. So one of our corporate goals is to own 20% market share, Namibian market share, by December 2026.
Wow.
And then I would also really love to extend myself as Frieda Vatileni beyond our borders and just tell
Yes.
my story and encourage other people. It doesn't necessarily just need to be Namibian women. I want to encourage across the borders and network across the borders with many more beautiful and amazing women. That's really my end goal. Mm.
Is the chili industry a thriving industry in Namibia? Is it something that is utilized a lot? That is why maybe you also saw the gap.
With our market research, we discovered that 80% of the people here would love to eat their meals with condiments. So the chili business will honestly not plummet anytime soon. In 2020, it was worth 201 billion US dollars. the global market. So
Wow.
honestly, it's something that it connects people. It's something that connects across borders. It's chili. It's food. People love food. You get what I'm saying?
And I mean,
So it's a very thriving business. Very.
I also think it's an exciting one when you discover a new, well, myself as well, being somebody who cooks a lot and also experiments a lot with
Yeah.
chili,
Mm.
discovering a new bottle and sharing it with somebody who you have a common interest. That's one of the most exciting things ever.
It's
To be like,
amazing.
I found this. We have to try
Yes.
this.
Yes.
So it's exciting, it's creative, but it's also consistency. I mean, it's one thing to have all these varieties, but it's also another thing to always maintain a standard of quality and excellence before you move on to the next, because that's where some
Yes.
people get it wrong. They want this whole big, vast, offering, but some of their
Yes.
products don't maintain in the standard of quality. How important is quality to the Chili Queen brand?
I didn't hear that. Sorry. I just heard until how important.
Oh yeah, no, no. I mean, how important is quality to the Chili Queen brand?
Oh, it's very, very important. It's very, very important. I tell my health and safety officer there should be no mess ups whatsoever. Quality, delivering quality. I guess I honestly believe that's the reason why we've come this far because we've been delivering quality and I hate slacking. That's one thing about me when it comes I don't want a single complaint from a client. Not one.
And that's a standard of quality that is high.
Ye-
Uh,
Yeah.
so, on a personal capacity, what kind of support do you enjoy in order to keep you motivated, even on the days where things get a bit tough and the world seems like it's weighing on your shoulders, but you've got all this responsibility and expectation that you've put on yourself?
Honestly, just when my boy tells his, I hear him at school when I pick him up from school, and he's like, "You guys, my mom is the chili queen." That's all the motivation we need. You get what I'm saying? And they're like, "No, you're lying," and I'm like, "I'm serious. There she is." That is my biggest drive, my biggest motivator. When he says that, and he says it with so much gleam and so much pride, that's all I
Ah,
need.
man. And I guess those are the proud moments that nobody can take away from you. And you wake up the next day like, well, if that happened, I need to keep going.
Exactly, exactly.
Frida, before we let you go, what are some of the words you want to share to people who, you know, who have these interests, but maybe they have not gotten started yet? That first leap is always the most difficult for a
Difficult.
lot of people, because there's an element of self belief that just won't allow them to take that leap of faith. What and how do you advise a person who's in that current position?
Just start. That's two words. Just start. The thing is, we stay stuck in these positions because we haven't started something. The
True.
moment you start something, you can continue. You understand? There can be no
Yes.
continuation without a beginning. So just start.
And anybody who wants any information then regarding the brand itself, where can they go and look you guys up?
Well, you can look us up on Instagram, Chili Queen underscore Nam. You can search us on Facebook, Chili Queen Namibia. That's our page. Or you can contact us, but I'm sure all our details are on those pages.
Okay.
You can contact us via there. I'm sure, like people from other countries besides Namibia, you can get all the information there. Namibia,
Awesome.
you dial me on 081 305 0008. Or
Awesome
you can just
stuff.
go to Super Spa, Grove Mall, freshly frozen in Osona Base, Nawa 24 convenience stores. That's where you will find us currently.
We wish you all the best. We thank you for the time you spent and unpacking a little bit about what you do and what excites you about it. But also, we encourage you and others who are watching further afield than just the borders of South Africa to follow the dreams, do what it is that's important and that makes you happy. But also, don't deprive the world of great things because you're scared to get started. We want to see and we
Exactly.
want to. Yes. Frieda Vatileni, thank you so much joining us all the way from Namibia. It's been awesome. Congratulations on your journey and we wish you all the best going forward.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Oh man, have a great one.
You too, Lungelo.
Let's see what all